What's going on YouTube? Today I have an awesome video for you guys. It's something that I have been meaning to make for quite some time. It's going to be the AirPods Pro version Gen 2 with USB-C down there on the bottom versus the tried and true Bang & Olufsen Beoplay EXs, which if you've seen any of my other earbud videos, these have been kind of the top dog. My daily drivers, the ones that I always go to grab for any occasion. But let's see which one of these you should get if you are in the market or if you're just curious how these stack up in my opinion. If you haven't been on my channel before, how I kind of do this review is like a sit down conversation, pretty much like as if I was talking to a friend. So first thing that we're going to go over is the overall build quality and aesthetic of these buds. So as you'll see, my AirPods Pro are in a Nomad leather case. That's kind of one bump for the AirPods right off the bat. The fact that, you know, everyone uses AirPods. Apple products are so popular that if you're going to go buy an accessory, whether it's a charging dock, because you know these have MagSafe in the case, or a case itself or anything like that, these are going to have tons of accessories, even, you know, special ear tips made for them, which I don't know if you could tell I currently have on my AirPods, but I'll get to that later. Other than that, once you get to the case itself, I don't really want to take the leather case off just because it has adhesive on it and whatnot. We've all seen AirPods cases before. It's just a white plastic shell. Honestly, not too like premium feeling overall, I would say. It's just a white plastic, whereas Bang & Olufsen is one big like fancy feeling aluminium build here. But when you also take that into consideration with the case on my AirPods Pro 2, it is still slimmer in dimensions than this Beoplay case, which if you're using these as like a travel type of thing, or you always have them in your pocket, this, you know, you may be able to throw in a coin pocket or something like that, whereas this you're gonna have to throw in a backpack because this is kind of a chunky case. Now when you get into the AirPods case, you have the buds displayed like this and the Beoplays are displayed like this. So let me take one out. Now when I'm just holding them in hand, the AirPods Pro feel tremendously lighter. I'm not really going to weigh them, but I do like to go for runs, and I have gone on multiple runs with both of these earbuds, and I will say the AirPods do stay in. I've never had an issue with these falling out either, but they are a little bit more noticeable in the ear. As far as which one looks nicer, I'm gonna have to give that to the Bang & Olufsen, because that little shiny teal piece there is like, it's almost like jewelry. It's quite beautiful in my opinion. AirPods, you know, everyone has them. It's kind of, you know, it's an AirPod, you know what I'm saying? But this definitely kind of makes a statement in my personal opinion. Now other than that, that's kind of just where the build quality like of these things both end, at least for the Bang & Olufsen. But when you get into the AirPods case, you have the compatibility with the Apple Watch charger, compatibility with MagSafe. You do kind of lose that if you slap a case on it like I have, unless you have a case that has that built in. Honestly, I'm willing to make that trade-off because I really like this Nomad leather case here. You both have the lights on the front, by the way. Don't know if I talked about that. But with that in mind, you also have a little lanyard hole here, and you have a little speaker, which if you go on the Find My app on an iPhone, you can ping these out and hear them if they're lodged in a couch, or you go into the Find My app, find out where these things last were and actually locate them and use that little like compass thing to find these. The Bang & Olufsen's don't have any of those features. So as far as like how the case goes and the earbuds go, the AirPods are just packed with features that the Bang & Olufsen are not. So definitely in the AirPods favor there. This next portion is going to be like a sound quality / application conversation. So this is, I think, what's most important when taking into consideration which of these buds that you want. Now, first and foremost, if you have an iPhone, I'm going to have to say AirPods Pro, which, you know, if you're watching this video, chances are you do have an iPhone, and that's why these are even up for consideration. But the Bang & Olufsen, one of their best features, in my opinion, obviously is the sound quality, but that kind of comes with a stipulation that you're using a phone, like an Android phone, that can supply the correct codec to get the most juice out of the squeeze of these. Alright, anyways. What I mean by that is the iPhone, this is only capable of going up to AAC. So if you have a Samsung or any other kind of Android, you get to go past AAC to Qualcomm aptX audio. That isn't even the highest quality codec that these go to. These go up to Qualcomm aptX adaptive audio, which phones like OnePlus and other kind of phones that aren't Samsung or Google phones have. But even the jump from AAC to the Qualcomm aptX audio, in my personal opinion, makes a huge difference and has been what has made these my favorite earbuds up to this point. So what I'm trying to say is, if you get an iPhone, these aren't going to sound very much better than these. Now, you will be able to go into the application and kind of bump the bass, where these are very bass lacking in my personal opinion, which I use earbuds primarily for the gym. So having bass, you know, really gets the blood pumping and, you know, the pump going and all that. And these just kind of lack that. Now, the main reason why I kind of lean towards AirPods Pro against the Bang & Olufsen is literally everything else. These have zero ANC, like, at all. I mean, there's an ANC option, but I swear it feels like it doesn't do anything. Whereas if you have ANC on the AirPods Pro, I think the ANC on this is quite exceptional, almost up to the Sony XM5's buds, in my opinion. So if you are taking these to the gym, like, yeah, you're not going to get as much bass, but if you want to listen to your music on like 60-70% volume, the ANC is going to actually like cancel out most of what everyone's doing around you. Whereas to like kind of drown everyone out with these, you absolutely need to like bump these to 90% volume. Now, let me get into the applications and show you kind of what the differences are here. So here is the Bang & Olufsen app. It actually looks like it got a little update since the last time I was actually on it. You can choose between, you know, transparency off and noise cancellation. There's a wind guard option, which in my personal opinion does not do anything, but here is kind of what really differentiates the Bang & Olufsen versus the AirPods Pro, is the fact that the AirPods Pro does not have an EQ at all. Like, you can go into the music settings of Apple Music, try and fiddle with something there, but they all sound kind of garbage. Spotify, you could tune the EQ there, but the Bang & Olufsen, they give you an EQ setting just in the earbuds for any application. So that kind of looks like this. So you get this little circle here, and if you want like, if you want high bass, you can go over here, high bass, high treble, somewhere right here, low bass, low treble, and then anywhere in between. Now this little dot is actually very responsive as far as EQ goes. I don't know why they did this as opposed to like the normal EQ straight across thing that I'm sure everyone is familiar with. But my favorite EQ, you kind of see like where the dot is there, is pretty much in this area where you're getting like a decent amount of treble and bass, but not too much treble, but you know, a lot of bass for that nice gym experience. The problem is once you use these outside of the gym in an airplane or anything like that, like I was saying, as soon as you try and use some ANC to get the crying baby out of your ear, or just even the plain engine, you're gonna have to bump these up as far as volume is concerned, and these you could listen to very low volume. ANC is going to do its job, and it's going to be very pleasurable, at least in my experience, because I have traveled quite a bit with both of these, but now the AirPods Pro 2 are my go-to travel earbud. Now, unfortunately for the AirPods, to actually do anything with them, there's no app. But there is this like settings tab that you have here, and it's similar to the Bang & Olufsen where you can choose any one of these. The new adaptive thing is pretty neat. It kind of just adapts the ANC to your environment. Here you can control like what the pinching of the earbud does, and as you can see, there is no EQ. So there's actually quite a bit of settings, like you have Find My, optimize battery charging, which will keep the case battery low if it doesn't think that you are, or the earbud's battery low, or the case not past 80% to prolong the battery life of your earbud. Yeah, pretty much all the customization you would want from a pair of earbuds, except for an EQ. I don't understand it. But yeah, that is the difference between the app for the Bang & Olufsen and the AirPods. Now, let me quickly get into how you'd actually control these earbuds. So the Bang & Olufsen here has a little touch capacitive thing here, which is that blue highlight, whereas the AirPods has a stem. So I don't know how well you can see it here. Let me get closer, further. Okay, so there is that little stem. There's a flat portion here where if you pinch it once, you know, pause, pinch it twice, next track. If you slide up or slide down, it actually changes the volume up or changes the volume down. So I have come to really like these controls over the classic touch capacitive controls because you do have the same touch once for pause, touch twice for skip, so on and so forth. To change the volume with these, you have to hold on to it, and I found it's kind of like a game almost as to where you want the volume exactly. Hold it, oh, it's too high, and then you let go, and then you're stuck at too high, and you go to the other one, and then you go too low, just because you're holding it and hoping that you get the best volume that you're looking for. Whereas this, literally one swipe up is one tick up, one swipe down is one tick down. So it's just much more precise and easy to use on the AirPods, in my opinion, as far as touch capacitive controls are concerned. If I were to give like the overall sound quality on these, like a rating, these are a 9 out of 10 if you have the Android phone. As soon as you pair these up with an iPhone, I think the sound drops to at least like a 7.5 out of 10. And these, I would say, are a 7 out of 10 as far as sound quality goes. The thing about like that extra half a point, I think, is because of how much nicer the bass is on these. But you can just tell that, you know, at least you can tell if you've heard them on a high quality codec with an Android phone that the fidelity is just immensely lost if you go onto an iPhone. So it kind of begs to question, like, that extra half a point, at least in my opinion. Is it worth giving up all the features that the AirPods bring you? So let me kind of use it as a turning point or a caveat to, I don't know if I use that big word alert right, but the features of these two buds. So these have multi-point connection where I compare to two devices at once. Let me tell you right now that has hardly worked for me. Sometimes I have problems connecting these buds to just a single phone. Like, I'll have to disconnect, reconnect, all that, and it is just extremely frustrating. And if two devices are paired up to this, then it becomes 10 times more frustrating. But when these are working as they should be and you're listening on a phone with high quality music, that high quality codec, there's no better true wireless hearing experience that I have listened to that beats these. Now, the thing with the AirPods is, right, everyone talks about the Apple Magic ecosystem and all that. Like, if I use these on my iPhone, works perfectly fine, connects 10 out of 10 times, no problems. I don't even have to worry about Bluetooth problems, where there have been times where I popped these in my ear, left them in my car, went inside the gym, and I was having connectivity issues, like the sound was dropping, clipping out, so I had to go back to my car, throw these back inside the case to try and like reset them, take them back out. I've never had any of that, like any issues like that with these AirPods. Now, to follow that on even more, if you have other Apple products, and so let me just kind of go over my use cases. The first and most important one, Apple Watch. So if I'm going for a run, I don't take my phone with me. I just keep my watch, and then I go to Apple Music, or maybe if I have a podcast downloaded, and then I'll give you a quick little scenario. So I can go to Apple Music, and then I can go down into my library, and then playlists, and then if I do my favorite songs, I can click play, and then I could actually go and listen to my AirPods, and then it'll just work easy peasy. Whereas, this isn't a part of an ecosystem, right? These are meant to work with everything Apple, and they work, in my experience, flawlessly. So on top of that, if you have an iPad, a MacBook, it all just, as soon as you start playing, it just works. It just connects, and that has just been, I don't know why I never valued something like that. I think I was just so used to connectivity issues with these because I got that, this isn't a Samsung product, so sometimes it won't work with my Samsung phone, or it's not a Pixel product, so sometimes it won't work with my Pixel phone. These work with everything as long as it is Apple, and they do work with other devices as well, but I think if you're going for the AirPods Pro, like, you're kind of going for the whole Apple experience, which also leads me into one of my favorite use cases for these is listening to my Apple TV with spatial audio. Myself and my wife can both be watching a movie at the same time with our AirPods, and it has just been like such a seamless and phenomenal experience, especially if we want to watch or listen to something really loud, but the babies are asleep, and we can throw these in and actually have like a great movie audio experience. So, needless to say, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. All of the features that these have in my day-to-day life that these just cannot come close to filling is why, even though these sound better, I'm gonna have to go with the AirPods Pro. These stay in my everyday bag as a backup, just in case I forget these charging or something. But AirPods Pro 2 all the way. I think I am going to go for some AirPods Max if they ever get released with the USB-C version. If you guys have some of those, I'd love to hear what you think about them. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, sub, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.